Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert's Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, NASCAR Cup Series FireKeepers Casino 400 preview from Michigan International Raceway. We got 400 miles, 200 laps, 3 stages, 45, 75, and 80. Teams will have 7 sets of tires, 6 stickers, 1 from the qualifying scuffs. Fuel window is 49 to 55, so first stage, obviously, no need for a pit stop. Second and third stage, probably pit just a little past halfway in each stage. Michigan doesn't have a lot of tire wear typically, so we can see some 2-tire stops. We did see a couple left rear tire issues in qualifying and practice, so we don't know where that's going to kind of weigh its ugly head. Was that an air pressure issue? Was that a camber issue? What was the actual issue? Because what happens is, and they've described this on the TV broadcast, is when these teams go out there and they lower the air pressure and that tire looks almost squishy, it damages that sidewall, and then over 15, 20, 30 laps later, kaboom! So hopefully, if that was an air pressure issue, these teams learn from it. I know a lot of people talk about this, and Goodyear says, okay, we recommend X for the tire pressure. Yeah, if Goodyear recommends 21, and the teams are like, you know, there's grip when there's 16. Let's go 16. And then they damage the tire, and that's not a Goodyear issue. That's a team issue. This is the first of 3 seedings for the in-season tournament. I know a lot of people are not happy about this or don't understand it. Let me sum up the in-season tournament for you. March Madness. So you have teams from all different conferences play their conference title games, and then they go into Selection Sunday, and the selection committee goes, all right, Duke, you're going to be in the East, you're number 3 seed. North Carolina, you're going to be in the South, you're number 2 seed. The only difference is what NASCAR is going to do is take the top 32 in points. We're going to have the next 3 races. During the next 3 races, average finish, I think, is what the number they're going to use. And that's how they're going to seed them 1 through 32, 1 versus 32. So, for example, right now, first in points is William Byron. 32nd in points is Brad Keselowski. So, if this was the start of that, so if we had the head-to-head, if we had William Byron, Brad Keselowski, say, finishes 1 position higher than William Byron. Byron is out of the tournament. Brad Keselowski goes on to the next round. Simple as that. We do that. We do head-to-heads in NASCAR Fantasy Live as well. So, in the last 10 races at Michigan, Ford has won 9 straight, 9 out of 10, from 2018 through 2023, and 2024 Toyota won that. The President's Cup, I think, is what it's called, because the car makers are based in Detroit, Ford and Chevrolet. We know Toyota is based in Japan. In the last 20 races at Michigan, Ford has won 12, Chevrolet 6, Toyota 2, Ford won in 2024, like I said, or 2023, excuse me. Toyota won in 2024. Chevrolet hasn't won at Michigan since 2017. We know the Roush Yates engines are just awesome when it comes to these high-speed tracks. They put out a lot of power, a lot of torque. We know that back in the day when Robert Yates ran Robert Yates Racing, we know his cars are always strong here. In the last 25 races in Michigan, there's been between 5 and 9 cautions. Never more than 9 in those 25 races. The record's 10, I believe, at Michigan. Never less than 5 in those 25 races. I think the record is 1. I think 2 races had 1 caution. In the Gen 7 era, we've had 3 races, 7, 9, and 7 cautions. So you can predict right around 7 cautions. So 5 cautions plus the 2 stage cautions. I know everyone, that's a whole thing on social media about stage racing. By the way, I am pro stage racing. So at Michigan, the last 3 races, average running position, Bubba Wallace 10.64, Denny Hamlin 10.66, Ryan Blaney 11.58. Ross Chastain 11.62, Chris Buescher 12.11, Brad Keselowski 12.52, Kyle Larson 12.76, Daniel Suarez 12.89, Ty Gibbs 13.06, and Eric Jones 13.62. The last 3 races at just Michigan finishing average finish position, Denny Hamlin 5.0, Zane Smith 7.0, he finished 7th last year, Brad Keselowski 8.0, Ty Gibbs 8.0, Chris Buescher 8.66, Carson Hocevar, his 10th place finish last year, Brian Blaney 10.66, Eric Jones 11.33, Daniel Suarez 13.0, Kyle Larson 15.33. As you notice, Bubba Wallace, he's at the best average running position, but those haven't resulted in finishes for different reasons. I believe he was like at 15.89-ish, something like that. He was 11th, and now we're down the top 10. For my NASCAR, in similar tracks, and we know California Speedway was a similar track, Auto Club Speedway, to Michigan, the both 2-mile ovals. Kansas, a lot of times referred to as a mini Michigan, so I kind of threw Kansas in this. So the races at Auto Club Speedway, California, the races at Michigan and Kansas, 11 races in the Gen 7 era. Denny Hamlin, average finish 5.27 with a win. Kyle Larson, 10.81 with 2 wins. Ross Chastain, 12.72 with a win. If you remember, Kyle Larson used to be called 2-Mile Kyle because it seemed like he only ran well at Michigan and California. Ryan Blaney, 12.81. William Byron, 13.63. Alex Bowman, 13.8. Chase Elliott, 14.09. Brad Keselowski, 14.36. Joey Logano, 14.45. Daniel Suarez, 14.63. NASCAR Fantasy Live. As long as Denny's going to be in Michigan, I want to pick him to win. Hopefully, if we hear something different before green flag drops, I can get him out of there. Brad Keselowski, hometown guy, always runs well here. Got an average finish of 8.0. Hopefully, he can jump up and get that win. Chris Buescher, his teammate, average finish of 8.66 at Michigan. Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, and then I got Bubba Wallace in the garage because of that average running position. We'll see how well he finishes. And then the head-to-heads, we have Ryan Blaney versus Christopher Bell. I'm taking Ryan Blaney. Chris Buescher versus Bubba Wallace. That was a tough one for me. I wanted both of them to do well. So I got Buescher over Wallace. Ty Gibbs, Carson Hocevar. I'm taking Carson Hocevar. You might be shocked at one of my 4 picks to win. Daniel Suarez versus Brad Keselowski. I'm taking Brad Keselowski because of what he's done at Michigan in the past. As we look at the points, 14 races down, 12 to go in the regular season. We have 9 different winners. I am predicting right now, we have 16 different winners in 2025 during the first 26 races. That way, only winners make the playoffs. That's my prediction. Now, there is a little thing that could happen where that's not the case. So right now, Chase Elliott is the highest driver in points without a win. If Chase Elliott were to win the regular season championship with no wins, he would make the playoffs. So that means whoever's the 16th winner, the one lowest in points, would miss the playoffs. So we can have a scenario with 16 winners, a regular season champion who does not win, somebody with a win doesn't make the playoffs, and somebody without a win is in the playoffs. Highly unlikely. He's too far back, I think, to do that, but just throwing it out there in the universe because it could happen. Right now, you got William Byron leading with a win. He's plus 48 over Kyle Larson with 3 wins. Remember, the winner of the regular season title gets an extra 5 bonus points. Now, I do think that they need to change that. I think winning that regular season title should get more bonus points. I have an idea in here. I just need to kind of put it on paper and put it out on a video. I'm going to work on that toward the end of the year. Probably do that the morning of the finale at Phoenix. I got a really good idea there. And then what I might do with that is use the 2025 results and just my new point standings and kind of see if we can change those final 4 at Phoenix. So that's something I'm working on. I'm going to do. Actually, just kind of get started on that. Then Christopher Bell with 3 wins, minus 88 from regular season title. Denny Hamlin with 2 wins. And the first one by the win, Chase Elliott plus 153. Tyler Reddick plus 144. Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain with a win. Bubba Wallace plus 58. And then Chase Briscoe, Alex Bowman, both plus 49, tied for 11th. Remember, 10th place in the end of the regular season gets a playoff point. 11th does not. So there is a battle there to get that extra playoff point. And we know 1 point can make a difference either moving on or not moving on. Second disqualifications. Cindric is 13th with a win. Chris Buescher is 14th in points, plus 12, excuse me. Kyle Larson, 15th in points, plus 2, excuse me. Kyle Busch, 15th in points, plus 2. Ryan Preece is 16th in points, minus 2, because Josh Berry is sitting 20th with that win, which is provisionally locked into the playoffs, is the way I like to look at it. Carson Hocevar, minus 6. Ricky Stenhouse, Carson's minus 4. Stenhouse is minus 6. We know they're a little dust up last week. We know how pissed Ricky Stenhouse was. We know they both have said they've actually talked this week, and of course how NASCAR works. You have an issue on track this week, you're sitting next to each other in the garage. It's because they're 17th and 18th in points. But I think both of them, because they're so close to the playoffs, neither are going to do anything stupid to each other. I know there's been a lot of talk this week of Dale Jr. saying that Carson reminds him of a young Dale Earnhardt and his hard nose, and he pissed off a lot of people to start out with, and then calmed down, became a 7-time champion. And I've kind of agreed with that. And I'm not saying Carson's going to be a 7-time champion. What I'm saying is I understand that. I've seen highlights. I've seen, some of the stuff that he did. Think about all the drivers that came in. Darrell Waltrip. Jaws, they called him. Look at him now. Look at him, oh, really? Yeah, fucking run his mouth all the time. Went out and did shit. Won a lot of races. Won 3 championships, but calmed down. Dale Earnhardt. Ironhead. Obviously the Intimidator later. But Ironhead. Ruffled up a lot of feathers when he came in 79 and 80, 81. Wrecked a lot of cars. Jeff Gordon. Wonder Boy. Came in with a chip on his shoulder. Wrecked a lot of cars. Won a lot of races. So a lot of great drivers come in with a chip on their shoulder, with an attitude. They calmed down. They figured it out. They had a veteran talk to them, pull them aside. Ernie Irvin. I think he's one of the best ever to do it. He had the same way. So I think Carson over time will get his act together and be a top tier driver. AJ Allmendinger minus 7. And we did find out this week last week that Chris Rice said that he'll be back next year, which I wasn't doubting it. AJ Allmendinger's alive for Colic Racing. I love it. Michael McDowell minus 13. John Hunter minus 24. Ty Gilliland minus 30. Eric Jones minus 32. Even right now, 25th in points, Zane Smith is minus 36. That can change in a race. Austin Dillon minus 39. Ty Gibbs minus 55. Daniel Suarez minus 60. Justin Haley minus 73. Ty Dillon minus 74. Noah Gragson 77. Brad Keselowski 97. And then we have Shane Van Gisbergen, Cole Custer, and Riley Herbst all tied minus 118 to the playoff line. And then Cody Ware at the back minus 207. Now, this in-season tournament. So if you look at the top 32 here. So the first round would be William Byron versus Brad Keselowski. Kyle Larson versus Noah Gragson. Christopher Bell versus Ty Dillon. It's just, of those two drivers, so thinking William Byron, Brad Keselowski. Whoever does the best that particular race, so the first race is Atlanta, they move on to the next round. And then they bracket up against whomever. So yes, you could have an AJ Allmendinger, a Zane Smith, a Ty Gibbs, a Justin Haley, Ryan Preece, somebody like that you're not going to expect to win this. But this is not for points. This is not going to affect anything when it comes to the playoffs with the points. Any of that. It's just a head-to-head fun thing for money for the teams. That's it. That's all it is. Once they get after the next 3 races and they seed the top 32, I'll do some videos about it, and then we'll add it in each week and what's going to happen with that. It's just during the TNT 5 races, so I think it's going to be kind of fun, something different. All right, the 4 picks that I have to win the FireKeepers Casino 400 NASCAR Cup Series race at Michigan International Raceway. Denny Hamlin, as long as he's there and doesn't go have a baby. Brad Keselowski, we know what he's done at Michigan in the past. Chris Buescher, always fast there. 4th pick, kind of an out there pick, kind of like, hey, why not kind of pick. Carson Hocevar. I got Carson get his first career win at Michigan. We'll see what happens. Now, If I could plan life perfectly and say, okay, this is what I want in the atmosphere, this is what I want to happen, just for me to say things for me. In 2023, Chase Elliott, left hook Denny Hamlin at Charlotte 600. Chase got himself suspended. They decided, because the Xfinity Series was racing in Portland, that obviously one of the junior motorsports drivers couldn't go back and forth. We're going to put Corey LaJoie in the 9 car for this week. Then we're going to Spire's going to put Carson Osbar in the 7 for the week. So that week, that race was my first ever Cup race. Been to 3 truck races now. Never been to Xfinity race until Worldwide Technology Raceway this year. And then I was at that Cup race in 2023. I met Carson Hocevar. I got a picture with Carson, my buddy Carson. First driver I got a picture with that day was Carson Hocevar, making his Cup Series debut. I'm going this year, 2 years later. It'd be really fucking cool for Carson Hocevar to get his first career win at Gateway, Worldwide Technology Raceway. Because I met him I was there for his first race, and be there for his first win. I think that'd be super damn cool. So if I could actually predict and say, hey, this is going to be the coolest thing happened in my lifetime ever, it would be that. So he is going to be picked to win in Michigan. We saw what he did, finishing second last week. So Nashville. Not that these 2 tracks are anywhere close to one another, but you know what I mean. But Denny Hamlin, Brett Kay, Chris Buescher, and Carson Hocevar are the picks. 9 different winners in 14 races. Goal is 16. I think we get there. As always, thanks for watching Rubber Sports Show. And don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Rubber Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.